Happy birthday to the brother. Rest in peace. To the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from Atlanta, Georgia. Born on this day in history, January 15, 1929. So this evening we're going to take a look at the life work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Look, check out Dr. King and Malcolm. Look at these brothers. Dignity. Ambassadors. Look, check it out. They were both in D.C. on Capitol Hill listening to the discussions that the politicians was having about the Bill of Rights. So they paths crossed in 1964 at an airport in Washington, D.C. It was unintentional. But guess what, though? Martin was friendly with Malcolm. Even though Malcolm said they was kind of silly things about Uncle Tom and Handkerchief Head. But because Martin is very understanding and compassionate and loving, that's always going to be his brother. And Malcolm respected Martin as a man. And he said, look, I see you fight. I want to fight with you. You a black man, I'm a black man too. So from this day forward, let's squash any Malcolm versus Martin rhetoric. These brothers were playing the same team. Martin was offense. Malcolm is defense. Martin's like a quarterback, and Malcolm, he's like a free safety. Now, I also want to note that Martin was invited to Ghana by Kwame Nkrumah to see his inauguration for the president, to see Ghana become an independent nation. They were inspired by the movement, the Montgomery bus boycotts, and it inspired them to fight and to organize and to seek independence. So our brother Martin had a worldview. He was building relationships within the African diaspora, and they respected his work. Now we'll take a look at Martin and Elijah. Now these two Georgia brothers were tough. One from the country and one from the city. Now, while the city, man, he had a lot of influence. He was on TV, he was on the radio, and he led marches. He was able to get laws changed in the country. But the country, man, he owned land. He made his clothes. He ate the food that he grew. You know, he talked about how to eat to live. He created a model for young black men and young black women to come through so that they could clean themselves up. So, as leaders, Martin was a preacher and Elijah was a teacher. It's good to have preaching, but see, the teaching is what builds the school. See, the preacher may come to preach a sermon, but the teacher has class every day and expects the student to learn. But we need both. And it's important to understand and respect that everybody plays their part. Martin played his part very well. Very well. Very well, with all his heart. And we respect that and appreciate it. And we continue to recognize, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here is Fountain Hall, which is on MLK Drive. Where do we go from here is Herndon Stadium, which is off of MLK Drive. So we have these resources of a field and a building, a temple, a chapel, recording studios. Look at that clock tower. It's a national landmark. And guess what? Kwame Nkrumah was inspired by Marcus Garvey. So he put the black star on the country's national flag. And I want you to really look at this relationship here. He was in Africa in 1957. While he was continuing to organize all through the South, with the love in his heart, he faced white, angry mobs with hate in their hearts. That's a true general. Happy birthday, Dr. King. We love you. Born on this day in history, January 15th, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. He met with Elijah. He met with Malcolm. He met with Kwame Nkrumah. He wrote books. He led the people. And now we have opportunity to build a beloved community through restoring Herndon Stadium, through restoring Fountain Hall. Look, we have partnership with Asala and the Morris Brown College administration. With this partnership and these organizations, we can receive federal funding. We receive federal funding for historic preservation. And guess what? Asala is a national organization. So we can do this at historically black colleges all across the nation. Once we're successful here with Fountain Hall and Herndon Stadium. See? Look, that picture. You see that? That's me in the drumline. But this field is where Drumline was filmed. Right here on Herndon Stadium. So that's my time, family. Continue to celebrate Dr. King. Read his book. Listen to his sermons. And know that he had a heart to love. A mind to work. He was diligent. He did his best. He made a lasting impression on this nation and the world. He built relationships with people that may not have had the same perspective that he shared. Long live Dr. King. And we pray that on the streets that bear your name, we will be able to build a beloved community. Asheo.